Welcome back. I'm Kathy Oneto, founder of Sustainable Ambition. Thanks for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to go deeper into the second pillar of sustainable ambition and talk about right aspiration. As a reminder, sustainable ambition is about crafting a fulfilling career to support your life from decade to decade. The end goal? Experience more fulfillment in one's professional and personal life with more ease while still being ambitious. There are three pillars to sustainable ambition: right success, right aspiration, and right effort. Right aspiration is about managing your work satisfaction and ambition from decade to decade. It's about making sure you're building a regenerative career. Right aspiration has two key components, as I mentioned: satisfaction and ambition. So I'll talk about each of those in turn. With regard to satisfaction, most people think, our careers are just an upward trajectory, a straight line. But it's really more of a meandering journey. Think about it almost like sailing. It's like tacking back and forth to move towards your final destination, as opposed to it being this straight line. So really, how we feel about our work isn't static. Our satisfaction changes over time and over the decades, given the stage we're in, both life stage and career stage. Yet there's really not a lot of discussion about this. It's just not talked about very much. Yet research I've conducted shows that for many professionals, career satisfaction flexes over time. It's different in your 20s and 30s, your 40s, and so on. What we're looking for from our career is just different at each of those stages. And as Lori Gottlieb, the psychotherapist and best-selling New York Times author, has said, our contentment looks different in different parts of our life. Or as William Bridges writes in Transitions, adulthood unfolds its promises in an alternating rhythm of expansion and contraction, change and stability. It's not static and it's not a straight line. Or even consider what Peter Drucker has said, quote, "But most people, especially highly gifted people, do not really know where they belong until they are well past their mid-20s. So for us to get on that straight line, it takes us a little while." So once again, it's not uncommon for society to put some unrealistic expectations on us in terms of how we should be applying ourselves or living our lives. So importantly, during these times, it's really helpful to pay attention and use guideposts and be opportunistic when managing your career. It's also important to keep in mind because of something else Peter Drucker said, quote, "There's one prerequisite for managing the second half of your life. You must begin doing so long before you enter it. So you really need to recognize that your path is likely to meander and needs your attention to navigate over time. And you need to start planning sooner than you think." Now, the second topic on ambition, I also don't think we think about or look at hard enough. And there's often one single view of ambition. It assumes that everyone is just going for it, just diving in and going for gold, right? Well, no, that may be the case for some parts of our life, but not all, and that can also change over time. And I think it's important for people to recognize that ambition can ebb and flow over time. I love going back to this book by Paul Arden called "It's Not How Good You Are, It's How Good You Want to Be." And there's a page that shows an image of different people, and it culminates with Napoleon. But it starts with asking the question, so how good do you want to be? And you can answer, quite good, good, you're very good, the best in your field, the best in the world. Do you want to be Napoleon? Arden then goes on to share an example of Victoria Beckham and how she said, "I want to be as famous as Persil Automatic, a well-known detergent brand in the UK. It's like Tide in the US. She didn't want to just be a famous pop singer. She wanted to be a recognized world brand. I also recently watched the documentary on David Foster on Netflix, and Michael Bublé, the famous singer, is in there, and it was very clear in the film that his ambition was to become the next Frank Sinatra. So it's not to say we all have to have that level of ambition of a Michael Bublé or Victoria Beckham, but I think it's helpful to be clear on your ambitions in the moment, at the stage in your life, or for the task at hand. And again, to also recognize that ambition isn't static, especially as you move through different stages of your career. Or you might recognize that the pace at which you want to reach those ambitions can change as well. So to summarize, right aspiration is about managing your work satisfaction and ambition from decade to decade, paying attention and adjusting to it so it is sustainable over time. In the end, it's about building a regenerative career, which is that much more important in today's work world, where we are asked to constantly learn and reinvent ourselves. So if you want to read more about sustainable ambition, find the guide at sustainableambition.com/sustainableambition. If you'd like a free Sustainable Ambition self-assessment, go to sustainableambition.com/SA self-assessment. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope if you found this helpful, you'll hit subscribe below to learn about future videos. And I'd love it if you would join me and subscribe to Sustainable Ambition Forum, my twice monthly newsletter, to get my insider tips, guides, and tools. To do that, go to sustainableambition.com/subscribe. Thanks again for being here, and bye. I'll see you next time.